In this video, I'll be discussing how to build the late surgers, or what we call them late gamblers. I'll be discussing what skills to take, what deck you should run, and some of the characters that you could possibly run with this style. Now, you might be wondering why late surgers are called late gamblers. It's actually because they don't have a really good acceleration skill. They need to gamble and rely on bunch of these acceleration skill to proc at the right timing. For the unique inherits, you should aim for these two skills. First being Redshift, which is Maruzensky unique, and the second one it's Let's Bomb Some Iron, which is Mejiro Ryan unique. You need to be on the 6th place when you're entering this corner right here. Well, as for Redshift, you want to hit like the 5th position a bit later because the activation condition of Redshift is actually the final corner and beyond. Since these two inherits are actually not reliable because sometimes you might not hit the position correctly, we also can supplement this with like a lot of acceleration gambling skills. For example, Slick Search or On Your Left. This skill could proc at any point on the late race, so it's also part of the gambling skills. The same thing as Fighter and Furious Feet. As for where you can get this skill from, you can get Slick Search from the power card of Winning Ticket, while for On Your Left, it's currently actually exclusive to only Grass Wonder. As for Fighter, you can get it from SR Asian Flash, and for Furious Feet, you can get it from the power card of Ogre Cap. So here are actually the recommended decks that you can build. Of course, you just run Kita-san Black for the Professor of Curvature and it being just a good speed card. As for the other speed card, I recommend running Asian Flash just because she has a lot of good skills for the late surgers, such as late surger straightaways, late surger corners. And you can also fill the deck with two other flex speed cards such as like Tosho or any speed card that you have. You can also fit the last speed card as like a wit card or another power card if you feel you're lacking a bit on their stats over there. For the power card, I recommend running Daitaku Helios because Daitaku Helios has a lot of good hints as well. Now for the card borrow, I recommend you borrowing Ogre Cap just because Ogre Cap has Furious Feet. However, if you're running Vodka that has innate skills like Furious Feet, then you can borrow other cards, possibly like Yaino Muteki. The Guts SSR version of Winning Ticket has On Your Left, but it's actually a Guts card, so I don't recommend running it on your ace deck. The other borrow option could be the SSR Bamboo Mary. This card has a Rising Dragon Gold skill, which is a really good skill for the late surger. However, if we take a look at her support buff effect, it doesn't have any specialty priority, so that might hurt a little bit on your training careers. As I have mentioned before, the free power card for Winning Ticket is really good as well. It has really good effects and it has a pretty decent skill hints for like the late surgers. As for the stats, you want to aim for 1200 on speed, 627 on stamina, 1000 on power, 340 on guts, 400 on wit, and as on mal as usual. First up on the list for the late surger character is actually Maruzensky. Why we want to run Maruzensky for the late surger style is that we are hoping that her Redshift proc a little bit later because her Redshift actually activates on this final corner. So by entering her as a late surger, we're delaying her entry for the 5th position and we're hoping that her unique can carry over until the last spurt. Maruzensky herself has a pretty bad aptitude on late or even the end closer if you want to run her as an end closer, and this aptitude is really hard to fix because even with 10 star on the late spark, it only goes up to B, so just expect a wit debuff in the race if you're planning on running her. Her stats growth is not that good either. It's 10% on speed and 0% on power, so you might struggle a little bit on hitting the stat cap. As for the skill priorities, definitely grab any acceleration gambling skill, followed by Let's Pump Some Iron. Then focus on the middle leg and corner skills and speed skills to catch up. The middle leg skill is the usual combo of Playtime's Over, Telehead High, and Professor of Curvature. These are the skill lists for the late surger: Position Filter, Outer Swell, Late Surger Straightaways Corner, Fast and Furious, Rising Dragon. However, Fast and Furious is pretty hard to get as it's only from SSR Tamamo Cross and I believe you probably won't be running this card on your deck. Next up on the list we have Vodka. Vodka is a really good late surger that I recommend for the next CM. The reason being is that her unique is pretty good. So if you take a look at her unique cut and drive, so the activation condition for her unique is that you need to be either in the 3rd, 4th, 5th position when the remaining distance is less than 200 meters. So with this unique, it could be very crucial on winning the last stretch. It's very similar to Ogre Cap's unique. She has a really good stats growth for the next CM, being 10% speed and 20% power, which is actually huge, as it's pretty easy to hit 1200 speed and power on Vodka. Vodka also has an acceleration skill on her kit, which is the Furious Feet. You can drop the Ogre Cap power borrow and borrow another power card such as Yaino Muteki or any other card that you feel like on your deck. As for the skill priority, it's pretty much the same as Maruzensky, that focus on acceleration skills, followed by middle leg corner speed skills, and followed by the straight skills. Next up on the list, we have Grass Wonder. Grace Runner is also another good option for the late surgers. If we take a look at her unique, her activation for the speed boost is just that it's on the final straight. She just needs to overtake when she's above the 4th position. And this is very easy because being a late surger, you'll just overtake the pace chaser and the front runner anyway. Grace Runner also has a really good stats growth, being 20% on speed and 10% on power. So it's also really easy to hit her cap on speed and power. She also has a really good gambling acceleration skill, which is on your left. As for the skill priority, it's pretty much the same as Vodka and Maruzensky. Focus on the acceleration skill and followed by all the speed skills that you can grab. Next up on the list, we have Condor Pasa, the fantasy version. Condor Pasa Fantasy Unique is another gambling acceleration skill. If we take a look at her condition, it's basically on the final corner when you are either in the 4th until the 7th position and you are doing an overtake on the final corner. So we are hoping that we can delay the skill as well and we enter the 7th position onto this final corner. Here is the visualization of her unique. So it could proc anywhere between the final corners. So you're just hoping that we proc it somewhere around this area, which is pretty late, so we can have the full bonus of the acceleration. Corner Pasta Fantasy also has two really good innate skill for the late surger, being Furious Speed, which is another acceleration skill, and Rising Dragon, which is a bonus speed skill. Corner Pasta Fantasy also has a pretty okay stat growth, being 15% on speed and 15% on guts. As for the skill priority, definitely the acceleration skill and Redshift, followed by the middle legs and corner speed skill, and followed by Let's Pump Some Iron and Straight. For Pasta specifically, Shinzi has the innate acceleration on her unique and Furious Speed. I feel like you need to focus a bit more on the speed skill so you can help her overtake. Let's Pump Some Iron is a bit awkward because Let's Pump Some Iron is like on the 6th position on the final corner, and her unique already covers the 4th and 7th position overtake, while Redshift covers the 5th position and above if you get too far ahead. Next up on the list, of course, we have Mejiro Ryan, the holder of the unique Let's Pump Some Iron. I feel like Let's Pump Some Iron is a unique skill that is more fit for the end closers, but since we're expecting a really heavy front meta and the late surger will be pushed to the back, achieving the 6th position would not be really bad. Mejiro Ryan also has an okay stats growth with being 20% on power. However, you have 0% on speed, so definitely you want to run like 4 speed card to actually help her hit the speed cap. Mejiro Ryan also has a really good gold velocity skill, which is Rising Dragon. As for the skill priority, I'm pretty sure at this point I'm repeating myself. It's pretty much the same as all the other late surgers. Last on the list, we have Winning Ticket. Winning Ticket unique is actually really hard to proc. Winning Ticket unique is actually pretty good, but it's a bit hard to proc because on the final straight, you need to be blocked on the side. So this adds a little bit RNG on activating her unique. She also has a pretty bad aptitude on the mile distance, which is F, so you definitely need around 10 star on the spark mile to fix this to A. She has actually a pretty decent stat bonus, being 20% on power and 10% on stamina, but 0% on speed. So definitely bring 4 speed card to help her hit the speed cap. She also has like 3 really good innate skills, which is Hard Worker, another gold acceleration skill, Late Surger Corners, Fast and Furious, which is just a speed skill for the late surger. As for the skill priority, it's pretty much the same as all the late surgers. Here's a small tier list that I recommend if you're planning on running the late surger. Grass Wonder and Vodka being at the S tier because they are actually really easy to build, they have good unique, and they have good innate skills. Followed by Condor Pasa and Winning Ticket on the A tier because they have pretty good unique and a lot of innate skills for the late surgers, followed by Maruzensky and Mejiro Ryan because they have the acceleration skill. To be really honest, there's really no bad late surgers in my opinion, because if they actually proc the right gambling skills on the right time, then every late surger is actually really good. That's it for the late surger. Thanks for watching, guys.